Greetings, ghouls. Welcome to Deadsville Horror Talk. I'm your host, Ronin James, and to my left, the lovely Steph Infection.
Hey, Scream Hearts.
Today, we are taking a look at Onyx The Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. And we watched this one last night after I went live yesterday afternoon doing our new Deadsville Daily Booze live every day around noonish, going over the daily horror news. And yes, noonish, I heard you laugh.
Ish.
Noon-ish, yes.
You got an hour for time frame.
Anyway, it was listed in one of the 5 new movies coming out this week that I was looking at and watched the trailer, and the trailer was fucking amazing. It was hilarious. And we remember, if you remember, Andrew Bowser from the internet going viral about, I don't know, I want to say like 10 years ago as the Weird Arby's guy. You will recognize him. He is the mastermind behind this horror comedy, mostly comedy.
Mostly comedy, yes.
But it's a great script, man. And we watched it last night and we had a blast.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into it. We're going to do our usual first takes where we won't spoil anything and we'll give you our overall review. And then we'll break out the shovels and dig deeper.
Yeah.
Steph Infection loves that part.
Love digging deeper.
So, yeah. Before we get to that, though, a bit about us. I'm Deadsville director Ronin James. I direct Deadsville Rock and Roll Mysteries, starring the voice of Kane Hodder as Doggy Deviant, our puppet mascot. And this movie features a bunch of puppets, too. So this one was right up our alley.
Really cool.
Let's throw that in there as well.
Yeah.
But along with Deadsville Rock and Roll Mysteries, I've also been a stuntman for about 20 years. You've seen me die in stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I've got my ass kicked on The Punisher, and what else? I've been a stunt double on Gotham, and coordinator on a movie called Death House, which featured the Expendables of horror. And yeah, I've been around the block in the business a little while.
Yeah.
And now I'm here to give you some insider insight, if you will, in this podcast, along with my co-host, the lovely Steph Infection. Producer, actress, dance choreographer, head fear leader.
Yes.
Horror hostess with the mostest.
I'm starting to like that.
Yeah. Steph Infection has her hand in a lot of things as well.
Yes, I do.
As well as being a mom and a nurse.
Not a nurse.
She's not a nurse. I tease her. She works in the medical field, but she's not a nurse. Damn it, I'm not a nurse. So you can't be like, hello, nurse.
It's never stopped you.
I can do it. Anyway, so yeah, that's a little bit about us. We do this podcast every week, and now we're adding more content to the channel. If you like this show and you follow this show, make sure you check us out on YouTube at Deadsville13. And you will find Ronin Reacts, my new reaction videos, because people like these things apparently. And I didn't even realize I was doing reaction videos yesterday. I went and watched that. I actually was reading an article online live, and they showed the trailers, and I live watched the trailers, and I was like, well, those are reaction videos. Totally. There it is. And then I have a bunch of reaction videos coming from yesterday's show. So,
perfect example why you should hit that little subscribe and notification,
ring the bell,
so you
follow,
so you know when Ronin's going live or when new content is
going
there.
live, or a reaction video, or Steph Infection's got some stuff cooking as well. Maybe she'll come do some fishnet videos for us.
Just dance around on my fishnets.
Seems to be the popular thing for Steph Infection.
That I can do.
Show up in fishnets.
That I can do, actually. Can do that well.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's
make sure you subscribe so you can see the fishnet finanigans.
No, I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Fishnet fiasco.
Maybe.
All
that
right.
sounds better.
Steph Infection's fishnet fiasco.
We'll work on it. Working title.
Yep. If you want to help us with that title, you can email us. You can send us an email.
Yeah.
What's that email address, Steph Infection?
DeadsvilleHardTalk@gmail.com. Subject, mailbag.
Yes, send us emails. If you saw our last show, we got a good email from one of the producers from Stalked who wrote in, and we did our interview last week with the writers and director of Stalked.
Yes, that was a good one.
Yeah, we got some good feedback on that one. It was a good episode, and you can go and check it out anytime on Spotify or YouTube, and I think that one's up on Rumble now as well.
Okay, awesome.
So, all right, let's get to it, Steph Infection. Why don't you read that synopsis? Well, wait, first we got to do First Takes. All right, Steph Infection. Read that synopsis, Steph Infection.
How am I supposed to when you scare me half to death? All right. Fledgling occultist Onyx and a group of worshippers attend a once-in-a-lifetime ritual at their idol, Bartok the Great's mansion. Kind of sums it up. It's one sentence, but actually it sums it up fine.
That's a quick tagline. That gives it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this movie, the real selling point is Andrew Bowser's character, Onyx The Fortuitous, who you've seen in a bunch of wacky viral videos. And,
and honestly, I know we're not giving like first takes yet, but I know you said that you were hooked from like the trailer. I was not necessarily, I at all. Like I was like, but holy crap, totally just blew me out of the water, but we'll get there.
Yeah. So, I mean, it sums it up well enough. I mean, the story follows Marcus, a.k.a. Onyx, a.k.a. Andrew Bowser.
And he's kind of a,
he's a total loser.
Shut in.
Yep.
Making videos and lives with his mom.
He's not making videos. He just follows this one guy.
No, he was making the video to.
Oh well, that was a submission video.
But I was like,
he was submitting to this contest. It was a submission video for a contest. That's what that's what you're referring to. Yeah. We don't need to get into all that. It's in the trailer, but yeah, I mean, Andrew Bowser directed this and wrote it and stars in it, so triple threat. In 2021, Bowser raised $610,000 to make the feature film Onyx the Fortuitous and Talisman of Souls, which premiered at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival, and I believe won awards.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't see that, but...
Well, I have its official selection of Sundance, official selection of Fantasia, and an official selection of Sites. So it was selected at a bunch of them, and rightfully so. The writing's awesome.
I know.
The writing's hilarious. I mean, he does a great job. The comedy obviously is. If you liked his character and you like his quirky personality, then you'll enjoy it.
I will say, like, when I watched a few of his YouTube videos, I mean, I thought it was funny, but I could see where it was getting old a little bit with watching, like, YouTube video after YouTube video. But this movie, the writing, the way he ties in that character, it was, oh my God, it was so good. It was written so well and nothing forced. There's like heartfelt moments and hilarious moments and just clever. It was almost a perfect movie. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
I mean, I agree. It was, and you go from laughing hysterically to like on the edge of tears from
my God,
pulling
like,
at your heartstrings moment with
extreme.
Him. And he is a great actor. I mean,
know.
He does a great job. And like you said, when you see these videos, and they were short little videos, and like he would cut himself into news stories, the character would be cut into news stories, and it would be like small doses. So the question mark is, can this character carry a movie? Can you take a whole movie of this guy? And if you like the videos, you definitely can. I mean, I think the writing holds up. The supporting cast is really good. The other actors in it are really good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's solid. I mean, it's hilarious and heartfelt, and the pacing's great. It never feels like it's dragging at all. And it was an hour and 48 minutes, which is a little bit on the long side, but it doesn't feel like that at all.
No.
Yeah, it was just a fun, really fun movie, and it's just really great to see this kind of story of a truly independent artist, a truly independent filmmaker,
and like to knock it out of the park right away.
Yeah. To get to finally do this after working at behind the scenes and coming up with this character and the growth of the character organically online over the years, and now here it is, this feature film, and man, it's. I mean, I remember them talking about wanting to do the movie years ago and just thinking, man, I'd like to see that. Now here we are, and they really knock it out of the park. The cinematography is excellent.
Everything, yeah.
They have they're like dedicated to practical effects. I mean, they use a little bit of digital stuff, but it's very like 80s-ish, like lightning and stuff like that.
It gives like an 80s vibe.
Yeah. There's definitely heavy 80s and 90s vibes here. But the effects that they use for creatures, there's no CGI creatures in this at all. It's all puppets. It's all practical effects creatures. And they're awesome, man. They're really good. And the name of the creature creator was...
so on Instagram,
This is our trivia segment.
Oh, is it? So Creature Kid with a K. So Adam Doherty is the name.
Okay.
And
it has the
bunch
pictures.
of
You can
cool
go see a bunch
stuff.
of...
If you want to be surprised by the puppets and everything, maybe don't go scrolling so far on.
Don't go now, but watch the movie, then go check out Adam's Instagram, Creature Kid's Instagram, and see some of the how he has like pre-made to all the way through to
in the process of making
see how the
it.
creatures are made.
And they're very cool, amazing. I just some of the best puppets I've seen.
Yeah, some really great puppets in here, great practical effects, and it was great to see that dedication to the practical, practical puppets.
There's like a lot of them too. Like so, it's really impressive, and none of them really. A couple of them look similar, but they all have like their own personalities and looks. Like, some of them reminded me of other things, but you could tell it was maybe inspiration from other things that we've seen before. But the way it was really freaking cool. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, excellent.
So Creature Kid with a K.
Yeah. So, and as a director, Andrew still does a great job as a director here too. I mean, he has himself as the lead, so he's directing himself, but also he has some great actors. He's got some heavy hitters. I mean, and he does a great job with all of them, getting great performances out of all of them. Again, this is like, and we talked about this last week when we sat down with Wes and Rob from Stalked. You get these legendary, iconic horror actors in your little independent movie that could, your little like fan-funded, little low-budgeted thing, and it's so easy for these actors to just mail it in. They're collecting a paycheck. Chances are, you never know if this little independent movie is going to go anywhere or not. So it would be so easy for a lot of these actors to mail it in and not
give it 100%.
Right, not give their all, not be fully dedicated to the performance, but. These actors are killing it. They're killing it. They're great. So let's jump into the cast here. And, I mean, Andrew Bowser, like we've said, he's a genius. He's brilliant. He does a great job.
And we've, like, talking about directing yourself, I mean, we've had movies that, it was... like The Red Door and...
when you're writing, or I'm sorry, you're directing and then you're also starring in it. It's tough to be on both sides. It's a lot to take on.
Yeah.
I believe Andrew also edited this movie as well.
I think we saw that in the credits. Yeah.
He edited it, yeah. He also edited the movie. It's a lot to take on, I know, because I do a lot of the same stuff, so believe me, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he does a great job acting. He does his character well, obviously.
And he did it so well for a full feature, like where he's used to doing shorts and his YouTube videos, but this full feature, like, I mean, he did it so well. I can't wait
Yeah, and the heartfelt
see.
moments. Like, we knew he could do the comedy. We knew that he could do that from the viral videos, from the sketch comedy stuff, and the videos that he's done. But some of those scenes, man.
Oh my God! I'm going to tell you guys right now. You're like hysterically laughing, and then you're like,
yeah,
oh my
it's a couple heartbreaking scenes.
Oh
and
my
he just does
God.
such a great job. We'll get to it when we dig deeper. But yeah, we're going to keep it moving now in the first takes here.
Yeah.
The biggest name that horror fans are going to recognize is probably Jeffrey Combs.
yeah, definitely.
The Reanimator is here as Bartok the Great, and he's got the twirly mustache, shaved head, eye patch, goatee, and he just chews up scenery, man. This guy is like,
great.
he's a great villain. He's just a great, the whole thing revolves around worshiping Satan, of course, and, you know, resurrecting and demons and stuff like that. So, and Combs is just amazing. He's perfect. I couldn't think of somebody else to like. Now that I've seen him in it, how do you? Like,
he was really good.
Great.
He
man.
was really good. Really, the comedy parts, the serious part. He was good.
Barbara Crampton. I have a connection there. I worked with Miss Crampton on Death House. Spent a couple days together in the Holmesburg prison working, and yeah, she played
That's
Nancy.
right.
She plays
The doctor.
no, she plays Andrew's mother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she plays the mother.
No,
she's
I meant in
hilarious.
Death House.
Yeah, in Death House, she's
She's
a
the
doctor.
doctor. Yeah, okay. I forgot.
She's one of the doctors. Yes,
Yeah.
in Death House. But yeah, she plays Andrew's mother, Onyx's mother in this, and
Really
she's
good.
funny. She's like a 80s. It's a very 80s, 90s vibe. So
Yeah.
she's a very 80s kind of mom.
The stepdad was hilarious.
Yeah, the stepdad. Whew, Ryan Stanger.
Yeah.
Plays Todd, the stepdad. Oh my God, hilarious!
There's just a scene.
Watching that, you see,
Oh, he's from
even if you
Brooklyn
watch
Nine-Nine.
if you watch the trailer, then you've seen some of the funny stuff that we will get to soon. You will also probably, if you go back to a old sitcom called Living Single, you remember Mr. Terrence T.C.
He was
Carson.
Kyle Barker.
Yes.
Yeah.
He plays Mr. Duke with that deep voice, that unmistakable deep voice.
And he's very similar to like his old character.
Oh, absolutely.
I know.
It was great casting. It was good casting.
It was
because,
perfect.
Yeah, he's a very refined, and he's a truth seeker, and he's very, it's great. He's like the...
An intellectual.
Yeah, he's total intellectual. So then we have Olivia Taylor-Dudley as Farrah, and she was good. I liked her
She was in one of the Paranormal Activity movies.
Was she? Okay.
Yeah, one of the later ones. So she was great. There was not a cast member that was not decent. Like there was not a bottom.
No, yeah, I agree.
I don't.
I agree.
They were
even
all
like, you know, from even the bullies were hilarious. The bullies, and I mean, all this cast was great. Rivka Reyes as Mac. Melanie Chandra as Jasminder, Arden Mirren as Shelley.
Yeah, it was casted great.
Yeah, and they all did a great job. Shane McCormick as young Onyx.
Yeah.
Man, that scene broke my heart. That was a crusher scene.
Oh my God. Talk about the heartstrings. And look at how cute he is, too.
Yeah,
like, this cute little kid,
adorable.
and he plays the young version of. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a tough one. So, yeah. All right. So give your. I mean, we've pretty much gushed.
I'm gonna say so. You can rent this or buy this on Prime. It's on YouTube, and
it's free
Vudu.
if you have, because this was also partially produced by Screambox and BloodyDisgusting.com.
Okay.
So Screambox has it. If you subscribe to Screambox, it's free. You can watch it for free on Screambox, but it's available.
Right.
Yeah, it's available on Amazon Prime. I think it was $13. We bought it. And it's like $4 or $5 to rent it.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's all over VOD right now. You can find it many places. I give this my highest possible rating. I mean, I can't recommend this anymore.
I'm going to tell you, I went in with low expectations to this because I know you were hysterically laughing at the trailer, but you're like a fan. I didn't know Andrew as well. I haven't really seen many of his videos. I may have seen one, and then we watched a bunch, and I was like, all right, is this character going to get old in this movie? I went in with low expectations, thinking I was going to be maybe annoyed with the character at some point, and this is one of my favorite movies. Like, I loved this movie so much for so many different reasons. Like, I kind of was hoping we were going to get to watch it again because before we shot, and I was like, no, I want to watch it again. Maybe I'll just watch it by myself.
Yeah, we can watch it again later.
No, that's all right. Well, I'm sure we got something else on our list, but I will watch this again.
Absolutely.
The way that we've talked about this before. What makes a good movie for me is rewatchability. If I can watch it again, it can be good, but if I really want to rewatch it and very quickly, like that's just golden in my book. And on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave it 65%, but the audience score is 98%. It is. I can't recommend this enough. Just go watch it, especially if you love horror, old school horror. I mean,
and horror comedy
with special effects. Like, there's even makeup at the end of this movie that was so well done, and their makeup team is huge. I mean, and none of them really did a whole lot. I mean, the main person, we don't have to get into that, but like the person in charge of the whole makeup team has done things, but it was low budget, so. I was so impressed. I mean, it was better than stuff I've seen in higher budget movies. The makeup, the puppets. Sometimes you see, we just did, the Five Nights at Freddy's, and
the script was ass.
Oh my God!
People love it because of the Five Nights at Freddy's characters are in there, and they got that fan service. But the script was so bad, and by comparison, this script is so good. That was
but even just,
biggest,
just the puppets and the makeup and that had a higher budget. This had a lower budget, and it was like, I was amazed at the practical effects, like amazed by it. And even at the end, you're like, oh, it was so cool. The makeup.
Yeah, I mean, I give this my highest recommendation as well. I don't know what the critics are thinking with only a 65% on the
You know what? They're so hard.
Tomatometer. But the audience score tells you all you need to know. 98% love this fucking movie, and that's 100+ ratings. I can't say enough good things about this movie. There was no point where it ever dragged. There was no, I went from laughing to crying to, on the edge of my seat waiting to see what happened next. And, figuring out little things along the way. Is it perfect? It's not a perfect movie. Of course, there's little things that, only will happen in movie world and stuff like that. But still, we're there to have fun. And this was one of the funnest movies I've sat and watched in a long time. And the biggest, and like I said, the script is what stands out to me the most. There's no pandering to any agenda or anything like that. There's just the whole.
Usually we can predict stuff during the movie. We're like, did you predict anything?
I didn't see. Maybe right before something happened, I was like, "Ooh, you know what? I think." Yeah. Because towards the end, I was like, "Oh."
There was a couple
things where I was like, "I see what's happening now." But it took right up until it was about to happen for me to realize that was going to happen.
I know.
So they did a great job, and let's wrap this segment up and get to our digging deeper so we can get into this.
Go watch it and then come back and listen to it.
Highest recommendation.
You got to watch it.
Absolutely, go watch Onyx The Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. Great job, Andrew Bowser. Shout out, man. Awesome stuff. All right. Break out those shovels, Steph Infection.
Oh, I forgot them.
You didn't forget the shovel. Give me that shovel. I see it over there.
I'll do.
Give me that imaginary shovel. Bonk.
Oh.
You usually bonk me.
I know.
But it's time to dig deeper. We're back and we're digging deeper!
That was the loudest you've ever done that!
I figured I had to go extra.
Oh my God, I fell off my chair.
Yeah, I got you good.
You made me curse and everything.
Yeah. All right. We're digging deeper here, folks.
Sweating.
Digging deeper. This is the spoiler section, so if you haven't watched Onyx The Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls, go do it right now. We'll wait. No, we won't. We're going to keep going. You just pause it, which is kind of like we're waiting for you. And then when you come back, you hit play again, and it'll be just like we waited for you, even though we're not waiting for you. All right.
Thanks for explaining all that, but how does a pause button work?
All right, let's dig deeper, Steph Infection.
All right.
Kick it off.
Where do we start? We start with, I forget the actual beginning of the movie. He's making he's making the video, right? Yeah. Oh no, he's at work actually. Isn't he at work?
No, he's making the video. He sends the video first.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He sends the video, he uploads a video of himself being a follower of Bartok the Great for years, and how he's his biggest fan, and he wants to win this contest.
It was so funny. He takes his mom's doll heads.
Oh my God, the doll
and
heads.
She's like,
Are they my dolls?
Are those my dolls? And he's like, no, Mom, no. I swear I'll put them back. I mean, just so funny.
She's grabbing them and taking it away, and he's like, I haven't put back the evil. Oh, you have to put back the evil.
It's so funny. Just great, like, opening. It was so great. Yeah. And then we get his life at work, where the manager doesn't even know his name. He's got some name. There's 3 bullies.
Well, now, before that, he doesn't he leaving for work, and that's when we meet Todd.
Oh my God. Okay, we got to talk about this.
Before he puts his stuff on to go to work.
He goes downstairs, and in the kitchen, I guess him and his stepdad don't get along, and there's this battle back and forth, and it's like, fuck you, Marcus, fuck you, Todd. And the mom's like, and they're like dancing. It's like dancing
each other.
And he throws his jacket open.
It's hysterical.
Oh God, it's so funny. I was, oh my God, I was crying.
So you get the whole dynamic with the stepdad
that they hate each other,
and then Marcus goes to work.
Yeah.
And we see him. Is this the bullies? Or I think the bullies come later, right? First it shows him just making the burgers and making an order and throwing a bunch of pickles, slinging a bunch of pickles down, and then he goes into the back.
Yeah, with the manager.
To get 5s. We get the name tag.
Marcus, like,
he's like Marquay Dickberry.
Yeah.
Like I was wondering if you got my name tag in yet, Janice.
And she's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Well, it's been 6 years."
I've been here 6 years, and
she's like, "Take another name out of there."
My name tag says Marquay Dickberry. My name's not Marquay Dickberry.
And he finds Pussy Hound, right? He puts that on. And then he goes out, and that's when he sees the
So then we get the bullies, and we learn that he has no friends, 0 friends.
Oh, I know.
He has no friends, no idea what friends are. And this guy, is he talking? I forget if he was kind of.
Well,
at any rate,
you have to say, if you're not, everyone's watched it, so you know the trailer, and you know the character I don't know, like I don't know. But yeah, the 3 bullies, you know, and this is how good writing is. Very quickly we see that he's bullied. They clearly they walk up to the drive-through window and they're like timing him.
No, it's a walk-up. It's a walk-up.
Is it a walk-up?
Yeah. It's one of those like walk-up burger places.
Well,
he works at like a burger joint that's like one of those like
Morty's or something.
Yeah, like a Dairy Queen type.
Either way, yeah, they're at the window and they're timing him, and he is busting his butt, you know.
And he's killing it.
And he's walking up, and then they're like, aren't wrong, and they pour the milkshakes on his head and smear, and he just lets it happen. And then we get him, he goes home.
Well, he walks out and quits.
He walks out, that's right. Tell him I quit.
And you're feeling all bad, and then the dude goes in, he's like, Pussy Hound quit.
She's like, who? And then he goes home, and this is the first gut-wrenching moment. He lays down in bed, and he's like, God or Satan or whoever wants to listen to me. He's like, can I have a new life? This one's not working out for me. And goes
I really
on.
don't like it.
I'm like,
I'm really not. Yeah, he's just this
God.
poor guy's breaking down, and it was heart-wrenching.
But just as heart-wrenching as that moment was, very quickly We have, you know, the email dings, and he gets up, and there's some type of comic
Congratulations.
relief. Yeah.
Congratulations from Bartok.
Yeah.
You've been selected.
Yeah.
And then he runs downstairs and he's like, I've been selected along with 5 of Bartok's greatest, most devoted followers. And I'm going to perform a ritual forever and bring the farthest of Abaddon, the demon Abaddon. And her mom's like, that's nice, dear, but you're not going anywhere until you scoop that litter box.
Oh, God.
And we see him sitting there scooping the litter box with the
And
cat all judging him.
Yeah, and he's got, like, he's still got the milkshake on him.
Milkshake and shit on him, yeah.
So then the next scene, they're in, him and 4 other people are out front of the mansion.
Yeah.
And he's got his little lunch pail. And they're like...
It's the Battle Cat's
the
lunch pail.
Cats, yeah. Which is his favorite, most
Favorite
you know,
cartoon, his favorite possessions. Yeah, they're all like, don't you need, did you bring luggage or anything? I have everything I need right here.
And he really does throughout the movie. Everything he needs is right in that box.
Yeah, so we meet the rest of our 5, and yeah, we kind of get introduced to their characters, who we've kind of glossed over a little bit here. But we had, TC's character, who's like the he's like the scholar, and we have Mac, who's like she was they them, right? She's kind of like the...
I don't remember them ever saying that.
I thought she said, because she's kind of like the gender fluidish. She's kind of like tomboyish.
Okay, I don't remember them saying that.
I vaguely remember it. We meet Jesminder, who's like the princessy type, gothy princess type.
Well, she's the one that's like, I've been married to him
I've been married to him in
before.
previous lives. Yep.
Yeah.
And we meet Shelley, who's like the redhead.
She wasn't...
Ex-mom, who her story, yikes, man.
Well, she was like a Christian and
Yeah. We'll get to that scene because that comes up. So they all show up. They meet Farrah. She introduces herself. Oh, come on in, and then they all
gives them all talismans.
Yeah, they each have to wear the talisman.
Or not talismans. What's it
little
called?
Crystal.
Crystal something.
There's like some kind of crystal that they have to. A little green crystal that they have to wear.
Mm-hmm. There's somebody dead when they walk in, actually.
Oh, that's right.
That's
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, they all come in. Well, they all come into the house, and Bartok the Great is dead on the floor.
Yeah.
And the TV comes on, and it's Bartok the Great, and he's like, "If you're watching this, I'm dead, and I'm gonna need you to chant." And they have to do the chant, right? Now that the crystals are on, and they all chant. Let him rise, I think is what
I forget.
Let
that
him
part,
rise,
actually.
let him rise. They chant and he comes back to life.
They say that at the end, so that's probably what they say in the beginning.
Yeah, it's the same chant from the beginning.
Yeah.
So, they chant and he comes back to life and takes the knife out and he's like, yes, you can have eternal life too. And, that's the whole spiel.
And they're all like,
yeah.
So excited.
So, then they, I guess later we see them at dinner or they're all sitting and eating. This is where we kind of eat. They're each introducing themselves.
Yeah.
And we kind of get all their backstories and why they follow Bartok. That's why they're having.
That's right.
They're drinking the green liquid, which they assume is absinthe.
Yeah.
She says, "Is this absinthe?" And they all start drinking it.
Except Onyx,
right? Which
we figure out
figured out later.
In the moments that they start drinking it, the psychic Farrah is able to connect with them through that crystal if they drink this green absinthe.
Not only connect with them,
be able to
control them eventually, yeah.
Or persuade their free will, yes.
Yep. So, they sit, they kind of get the backstories of why each one turned to this follower of Bartok, who's, Satan worshiper. He's an Anton LaVey type, obviously. Definite one of those kind of occultists of the nether regions. And
nether region.
The nether world?
I was going to say, I don't know.
Those nether regions. Get your mind out of the gutter, Steph Infection. Anyway.
Nether world.
Yes, nether world. Nether region sounds sexier.
It does.
Sexy. We keep it sexy here at Deadsville Horror Talk. Woo! sexy. We're gonna have sexy dance breaks. Pew pew.
This is what we used to do on Gold Talk. We gotta bring it back.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. A sexy dance break. Where were we?
We were at the...
they were doing the introductions. And so it was Shelley's introduction. She's like a mom. She's like a redheaded mom of the 80s. And like, she's like, I have an introduction. I do it by rhyme. And it was like it was to a nursery
poem,
a poem. Yeah. And it's to a nursery rhyme that she starts reciting, but it tells the story of how she was a Christian, and I can't remember the rhyme, but it was really good. And at the end, you're just like, oh my God. And the story is about how everything was great, and her husband and kid died in a car accident. Yep. And so when she turned and asked why me, God had no answers, and so she turned to the devil.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like the loss turned her to the devil.
And doesn't Onyx say something like, I can understand that because, what does he say?
He compares it to something totally ridiculous.
Something
totally frivolous. And she's just like, yeah.
I forget what it was, but it was funny. And Mr. Duke, TC.
Mr. Duke is searching for truth.
Yeah, because he's he reads and he's very intelligent, and
So he's read the books. And
that's that.
This guy Bartok has a bunch of books, and he has albums and all this kind of stuff out there. He had a workout video. You guys remember the workout scene? He's like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
curls, and he's in his underwear. He's like, beef it up.
Yeah,
Bartok's beef up workout.
Oh my God, it's so
hilarious. All right, so they all kind of meet, and we start to get, they have to do these rituals. So we proceed. The next day, they all drink the absinthe except Onyx, and then they all go to bed. And
the next day, they're all in their garb, and they're all like lined up, like waiting and excited. Yeah, they're kind of, what are those hats called?
A fez?
I think so. Yeah,
it's like a fez.
So it's funny.
It's like a pot. Like a plant pot on your head.
With a little tassel. But they all have to cut their hand and drop some blood on the book to see if they were meant to be there.
If they're worthy.
If they're worthy.
If they can stay.
Each of them go, and this is a very funny scene. They go down the line. First, I don't know who's first, but we'll say Jesminder, she's the queen.
Yeah, so that's what happens. She starts opening the book once all their blood is in there. Oh my God! Well, what about him? The part where it's like, she cuts him. And
how much blood?
How many drops? How many drops? How many drops?
She's like, you're okay. You're okay.
Okay, that's enough.
So funny. But so then we do that, and she, it all goes in, the book opens at each one. She's the queen. Shelley's the Viking. Redhead Norwegian, obviously. Yeah. Mr. Duke is
TC's the werewolf.
Lycan. He's got blood in him. Max the witch or something.
Max the witch, yep.
And then they go to Onyx, and they're like the virgin, and he's like, what
the fuck? Everybody got something cool, and I'm the fucking virgin? What the fuck? He's freaking out. And it's hilarious.
The picture is him with a pot belly.
And in the background of the picture, there's two girls, and they're throwing up.
And you see him like working this out as he goes, and he's like,
what the fuck?
He's just so
and then for like the next half hour, he's so mad about the virgin
thing. They're all talking, and he's like, I kissed somebody on the mouth once. My mouth is not a virgin.
This is like scenes later, and he's still bringing it up. He's still mad. He's like pining it out. He's chugging the...
Oh, that's not... No, he doesn't chug it yet.
Not yet. No. But yeah, we get there.
We have to say, at the absinthe scene, originally, he was like, I just need a little bit of wine. He takes out the little bottle of wine.
Tiny wines. Tiny wines.
I thought he was going to chug it. Because I would have.
Right.
I mean, it was just a mini wine, and he just takes a little swig.
I was waiting for him to chug it so I could be like, that's your boy, Steph Infection.
I was waiting for it.
And then he took the tiniest little boop and just touched his lips, and I was like...
You just kept your mouth shut.
Yeah, that's not Steph Infection's boy at all. There's no way Steph Infection couldn't handle that. It'd be...
Oh, come on.
The rhinoceros would be out. Tiny wines.
I like tiny wines.
Yeah,
They make
like
me feel
20
like
of
a
them.
giant. And I can drink more of them. Yay.
Two-fisted tiny wine. Oh, man.
Oh, I am taking that. And that is going to be a gift.
Damn it.
Yep.
I tiny wined myself.
Tiny bean, maybe.
Great.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Wait for it.
Yeah, it's
Wait
coming.
for it, people. Yeah.
All right, let's
It
get back to
was.
the show here. It was. Damn it. She got me.
Both of them were.
Yeah.
All right. So,
All right, so off the tiny wines.
yeah. So, anyway, so then we...
They do that. Yeah, that was the first ritual. So then...
But now they're all sitting around, like, talking, and he's... what are they talking about when... Oh, he goes outside because he's pissed about being a virgin.
Yeah,
They all start talking about their dreams. Oh, well,
They all
last
talk about their
night,
dreams and they remember, yeah.
I had a dream, and they're like, "Did you have a dream?" He's like, "No, wait, did I have a dream of me not fucking somebody?"
And being a big fat virgin? No. Because they had dreams. I dreamt I was a Viking. I dreamt I was a white werewolf. I dreamt I wasn't fucking somebody.
No. Oh my
Hilarious.
God, it's so funny. And he goes out, and Mac is smoking a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
She sees, basically.
Well, before that,
Oh,
we
yeah.
have the scene where
They open-
Farah tells Bartok, she's like filling him in, okay, they all pass, they all are worthy and filling him in, but and we have the blood, but I don't know, what's his name, might be the prophesized one, he might be the fortuitous one, but
She
we don't
doesn't
know
say that
because
yet.
well, they don't say that, but she says, I'm not sure about him because he didn't drink. Like everything, like...
She said we're one step closer, but yeah, she's like...
But they don't know about, they aren't sure about...
no, he passed to be worthy.
He passed to be one of them, but they don't know if he's the chosen one or if the prophecy... I thought they
She does not
mentioned
say that
though.
yet. No, she's keeping that hidden because then she starts helping him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because she wants the prophecy to come true so she can... Because we find out that she's a demon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
we don't have to go play-by-play for
No,
the movie.
but
so
then,
let's
yeah,
keep it moving.
they get a map to go get the Talisman.
Yeah, they're out finding the Talisman and...
In the meantime, he's trying to
Onyx
open...
and Mac break in and they find the
book.
Oh, they find the book.
They find the book.
and
The rest of the
TC,
book-
and Mr. Duke starts translating the book. They start getting suspicious.
Yeah.
They start wondering what's going on and start hunting around and they break into.
That's when he goes out back.
Well, Bartok, he goes into
the room.
into the secret passage.
Yes.
He pulls the thing. He's like, secret passage. Just goes wandering down
Yeah.
the hallway. Closes
Spider
it.
webs everywhere.
And the spider webs. Why are these spider webs at mouth level? Ah!
Yeah, that was
Did
good.
you notice even when Mac went into the secret passage,
She didn't,
She didn't get any of them, and he's like, "Watch out for these spider webs! They're unusually at mouth level." And she's running past, and she doesn't have any.
No.
And we see him, and he's catching them all again.
I know.
But she went through first. She should have caught them all, and somehow he's still catching them all.
why it's
And they're all
hilarious.
over him.
Yeah, that's later. But anyway, he's back there. They leave. Bartok and Farah come back, and they call
Well, they find.
Jesminder.
Yeah, they find the
Yeah, they make...
that piece.
Yes.
They find the piece that they were looking for, that the blood went on the map and showed them where to get it.
Yeah,
So they went
yeah,
to the cemetery and they found the last piece for the dagger, which clips to the dagger, and then they called in, Jesminder.
Jesminder, yeah. And long story short,
He tells her, yes, we've lived many lives before.
this is what
and
this was all meant to
Right.
be for, and she's
You are the
willing.
queen,
Yeah.
and
And he
da-da-da-da.
stabs her, and it's really a cool kind of effect with lightning kind of on the knife, and then you can see it's almost like their veins are starting to turn black and
start to creep.
creep up, and
slowly they start to deteriorate.
and then all of a sudden, boom, she falls back, and he sees the ghoul.
Yeah.
And he's calling them like ghoul versions, right?
Well, yeah, she becomes, and that's where we get our puppet.
Yes.
Yes,
So
that's our
cool.
first. Yeah, that's the
So
first.
cool.
We see the first one of our puppet now ghouls.
Should flash a picture up here.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get one.
Yeah.
Right down there or something. I'll see what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll. we see our first ghoul, we see the puppet for the first time, and we see what Bartok's real intentions are. He's gonna drain their lives and put them into the that amulet piece, and I'm sorry, it's the Talisman of Souls, duh. Into the Talisman of Souls. The whole movie's named after it.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yep.
So he has to put all 5 into there, and then he gets Abaddon's power, the demon Abaddon's power. So that was the first.
And while he's back there looking through the little peephole through the wall, he sees behind the painting that there's...
He sees her die, too, and he sees her become a ghoul.
That's what
Onyx,
we said.
yeah.
We said that, but in the meantime...
Nobody else does because they leave.
No, but Onyx sees that there's a little piece of paper from the book, like, taped on to the back.
In the secret
but he goes
passage.
running. He falls into Mr. Duke's room, where Mac and him are... discussing things and talking.
Well, he tells him what's going on, and TC's translating, and then we kind of get, all right, we'll do this again tomorrow. We'll reconvene tomorrow, and because we get the lights out notification from.
But he does say, he goes, this one part of the page was missing, and he's like, I think I know where that was. So they say, all right, tomorrow, at one point during the ritual or whatever tomorrow's ritual is, we will, have a divergence. So you go get it.
All right, so here will be my only rant on this part, because this was the one part that of course I mean, and again, it's a movie, so, and I'm having fun, so I didn't even bring it up while we were watching it, but this would be my only qualm with the movie. Why didn't he just jump back into the secret passage and go get the page then?
So I thought of that too while it happened, like that was my first initial thought, but... He
just came out of the secret passage, why not just go right back and get the page?
I think because over the overhead, I think they were pretty much timed, so, and they didn't want them to be suspicious.
Yeah.
That's, like, that, all this went through my head too.
Yeah,
it was like,
he had to take a knife later and really, like, carve it.
It was going to take a little bit longer. So I think...
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, like, it was kind of covered with them even showing him taking it off. It would have taken
later
a little
on
bit
when
longer.
he goes back for the page, he has a pocket knife.
It was my exact thought. I was like, just go grab it. But then I was like, they said, return to your room. So if they're not returning to their rooms and they can see them, what are they doing?
Yeah, but if whoever's room that he was in should be able to go back in and get the thing. But again,
absolutely,
it's it's a movie. We want to keep that moving, and we want to keep the. I'm not going to make too big a deal about it because we gotta. Sometimes you just got to get from point A to point B and keep it moving. So there we go. But so then the next day they have to do another.
They go in
ceremony.
For the
and they have to do the ceremony with the box demon.
And this demon's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
really
is
cool
another puppet that was fucking awesome. And you don't see it at first. We don't see it until Onyx goes in. But the 4 convene and they're like, oh, where's Jesmond? Or why isn't she here? And Farrah's like, oh, she's doing something special for Bartok. She's serving Bartok. Her master is saying, okay. All right, well, we'll get started without her.
He's like, I gotta take a shit.
Yeah. And then Onyx is like, I gotta take a shit. So then she's like, okay, but you gotta get here by a certain time or else you're forfeit and we kick you out. So he's like, shit quick or be kicked out. Got it. And disappears down the hallway.
This is when he goes to get the thing.
Back into the...
And in the meantime, into the...
secret passage and
get
starts
the paper.
Carving the thing out. He goes into his pocket.
In the meantime, we see that this demon, you ask it a question and everybody's coming out crying.
Yeah.
Like...
It tells you something that shakes your world.
Yeah.
So, we get...
This is the most gut-wrenching moment. This was it.
Yeah. Well, first we get a sense of what it's going to be when Shelley goes in, because if you listened when she came out of the room,
there was a raccoon.
There was a raccoon in the car, and she hugs Hannah. I'm sorry.
You know
Farrah,
what? I didn't realize that's why
and
they
is crying
crashed.
and won't let her go. That's why her. Yep.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, it's very subtle. So if you don't,
for a moment I was like, is she that scared of things. Like, I don't know. I just wasn't.
That's
I didn't
what
put
it
it
was,
together.
because she's been blaming God, I guess, this whole time, and that's why, like, she turned to the devil. That's why she said it would shake her foundation. It would shake everything she believed.
There was a record. So it wasn't.
So her whole reason for turning to the devil, to worshiping the devil, and wanting to be Bartok's, one of Bartok's followers was just a fluke, because a raccoon was in the car. And
and they probably drove off the road or something. Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see that being pretty fucking world-shattering for somebody to have that kind of information told to them. So, we don't really get a sense of what Mr. Duke is told, do we? Or what Mac is told.
Nope.
We just see that they both go and cry.
Yeah.
Onyx gets back in time. He gives the page off to Mr. Duke, and then he goes in.
Yeah. And he says, why did my dad leave us? And right away, the demon's like, well, it was because of you weren't good enough, or you, like, being a mean kind of version. Yeah. Probably saying it not the best way. You weren't enough to keep him there, basically. And
it's basically, he basically, like, every boy or girl, I'm sure, whose father walked out on them, that's like your fear. Was I not good enough for him to stay? Did he leave because of me? What did I do wrong? That's kind of like the recurring theme when a parent walks out on a young child. So the demon is just reinforcing that. And
you weren't enough to keep him there, which is tough pill to swallow.
But it's not true either, though. You could hear that it wasn't just because of him. I mean, it wasn't.
No. He wasn't the reason, but I think in the sense you weren't enough to make him come back.
Work. Because the marriage obviously wasn't working. It goes to our flashback, and we hear in the other room Mom and Dad arguing, going nuts, like ballistic.
Yeah.
And the kid's sitting and watching Battle Cats.
Yeah.
And the dad comes walking out, and he's got a suitcase packed, and he's putting on his hat, and the kid's like, Dad, where are you going? And, when are you coming back? Are you coming back? Or said, when are you coming back? When are you coming back?
And he goes, I don't know. And then just walks out the door. And then we see a young Marcus ticking and just kind of repeating that, like, I don't know. And fuck.
That's where it all came
broke my heart, and why he's obsessed with battle cats, and he says,
I don't know.
Because they ask at one point,
it's his nervous tick.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Why do you keep saying, I don't know? Like, when they first meet at the table, the one chick gets pissy with him.
And you have to think, he created this character how long ago? Like, there's no way, for him to create a reason why this person, because I feel like it was made to kind of just be that, like, weird guy that
just a weird tick for a guy.
Say random things, and to kind of make it this heartfelt moment where you're like, holy crap, like, just
that's why he does it.
That's why he does it.
Oh my God.
I know.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
It's rough just thinking about it right now.
Well, I know. I got the chills thinking about it. But he comes out, and he's trying to be cool, because he's like, okay, thanks. And he, like, shuts the demon back in. So we got, like, a moment of comedy. He slams the and he's like, thanks for telling me. Okay, bye. And then walks out, and he's trying to act cool and not cry. But he's got a tear going down, and Max stops him. And he goes, and this is where he grabs the absinthe and just chugs it. And they're like, how much did you drink of that? Farrah's like, what? Because he seems fine, and he's just chugging and chugging.
Now, at this point, he's also taken off the crystal.
Yeah.
The crystal's gone. He's not wearing the crystal anymore. But now he's chugging the absinthe, and
Yeah. That was, and this is the moment where now Mr. Duke has
the pages.
They're all kind of there, and he reads it, and he says there's going to be this will happen unless there's a...
Drums are getting ready to start.
Fortuitous one.
The fortuitous one. He reads the prophecy.
And Mac's like, what did you call yourself when I first met you? Yeah. And that's why they kind of got along great, because the first, he's like, well, my name's Marcus, but could you call me Onyx The Fortuitous? And she's like, cool, yeah. All right, Onyx.
Just totally accepted it, where other people were just like, wouldn't even...
questioning it.
Even his name tag was Marquise Dickman.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so this is good. So this is the instant friends, and she takes care of him because he wakes up and he's like, you know, hungover at one point, and he
but also during this time we had Shelley gets sacrificed.
Oh yes, so that's right. We have another
Bartok's
puppet. Yeah,
sacrifices her. She gets drained, and we get another puppet up, and then we get kind of the TC kind of putting together all the clues on the board, and then while Mac is taking care of Onyx, and then. He realizes, Bartok realizes that Farrah's fucking with him. She's been lying to him.
Yep.
She finally tells him, okay, you better go talk to Mr. Duke. So he goes to Duke's room, shows up. Now, Mr. Duke must know what's coming. This is when I was like, and again, this was a part where at first I was like, why is he getting so close to him? Just to get
But we
stabbed.
find out later.
But later, it all makes sense.
It all makes sense. You said that out loud,
too. He's got a big board with all the yarn, like a detective, everything piecing together. He's figured everything out. He's got all the pieces of the puzzle. He writes a letter to Onyx, and he gives it to Mac.
I think.
And
she puts it in.
She has everything. And then so Bartok's there, and he faces off with Mr. Duke. Mr. Duke just gets right up next to him, and he knows what's coming, and Bartok fucking stabs him in the chest and drains his soul, and then we get an awesome Mr. Duke puppet.
He was like blue, awesome. The first two were green, and his tongue's hanging out. And at one point, like earlier,
so fucking eyes and everything.
It's funny because I think when Shelley or he's like, to Mac, are you seeing regular Shelley or ghoul Shelley?
Because they all appeared regular because they were all... Because they all were drinking the absinthe and had the crystals on, so Farrah was able to influence them. So she was able to, hypnotic, make them see normal Shelley, normal Jesminder. But Onyx keeps saying,
are you seeing ghoul version?
You see ghoul Mr. Duke or regular Mr. Duke right now?
All right, we gotta get out of here.
Really then we lose Mr. Duke, and then... there's the ghouls are after them.
Yeah, Max stays and sends. When did we get our garbage pail? What was that? The garbage pail.
Wasn't that in the dream sequence?
Yeah, what was that?
That was in the dream sequence where he gets skewered with that little meat boy puppet that. Marty's Meat Boy puppet with the skewer,
that's right.
which was an awesome puppet too.
Yeah, that's a great. It looks like kind of like a garbage pail.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a garbage pail kid, but with a hamburger meat face.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
it's definitely garbage pail inspired with a hamburger meat face.
And after he drinks the absinthe that night, he has this dream of him doing the meatloaf, and he's got that sexual fantasy.
Yeah, there's that whole oh my God, with the girl from Rescue Rangers. Yeah. The mechanic chipmunk from Rescue Rangers.
With the shorts, we all like that character, that cartoon. Oh my God,
and it's so funny. He does the whole meatloaf. I would do anything video recreated.
Because when he walks up
and Farrah,
when he walks up to the mansion, he's like, "This would be a great spot to do it."
To a meatloaf video.
The meatloaf, I don't know, one of them, 2 out of 3. But no, it wasn't that one. It wasn't one of those meatloaf songs. But that was really funny. Yeah,
that montage was great. That whole little section in there. I think he sang that as well because he performed it. He sings. So he sang,
I think so.
Yeah. Knowing that he has a band and everything now, it makes a lot more sense that he was singing these songs. All right, so then, Max
then we get
sends Onyx to. He's got to go to where the last. She sends him to where the last ritual is going to take place.
Yep.
And she stays.
Under the fallen angel.
And he says, "I got to stay," and it's because she knows. Now we realize, okay, Mr. Duke was getting closer to him because he understands that the only way for them to all come back is for them to all die.
Yes.
And the whole ritual has to be performed, and a hole has to open. And Onyx, the fortuitous one, has to jump into the hole, at which point he will go to hell and take the power of Abaddon and climb back out and can bring his friends back to life.
He'll be the fortuitous one.
Yes.
But this letter that he reads, it's like heartfelt in the beginning where I was like, oh my God. He was like, listen, I know you're scared right now and you're probably alone at this point. And you're like, oh my God, he's his friend. He cares about him.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the movie, they go make a point to show how Onyx has no friends. Nobody likes this guy. He hates his life. He has nobody. No one. And
Mr. Duke's letter right away, like from the beginning, he opens it and he's like, Onyx, I know you're probably alone at this. This is very scary. I need you to have confidence. Like, this is what you need to do. And then you're like, oh my God. And then he's like scared, and you know he's scared, and you kind of feel that in the moment with just the language that the letter is reading. And then it gets really funny where he's like, and if you're not, then
you're
just
not the chosen one.
You're just gonna fall to your death into hell.
If for some reason you're not the chosen one, then you will just fall forever, staying awake the entire time. Catching on fire, fully aware. Where Abaddon will probably torture you for all eternity. Him and his demons taking turns. This whole thing. Good luck, Duke.
So it was really funny. Like, it was so heartfelt and then really funny. So this whole movie had great moments like that where it's just like, and then you're laughing hysterically.
So let's cut to the end here. Onyx, jumps in. He saves everybody. Does the skewer with the sword. He comes out with the big sword and everything. And he somebody beheads. Who is it that beheads Bartok? Farah beheads him. So everybody's saved, and Bartok has all this. He has the power of Abaddon, and now this whole time Farah was going and meeting him in his dreams and had propositioned him to be by her side, and the two of them rule hell together. So now she's like, listen, come with me. She kisses him, and he's like, oh, but my friends. And she's like, no, leave these humans.
And he's like, but my friends.
And I have my friends.
And then instantly she turned into a demon, and we get that. And we both...
The makeup for that demon was awesome.
Oh my God, and
the
wings.
face, and the prosthetics were so good on it.
So good.
And she says,
she's like, now you're going to be my enemy forever. And we're like, oh, sequel.
Like in that moment, she's like, either you come with me now, or forever, from this moment forward, you're forever my enemy. And the next time we meet, I'll kill you, or something along those,
And the whole end of this, now when they all get reincarnated back to themselves from the ghouls, they're all in their true form from their blood. Like Mac is a witch, and Shelley...
Duke's a werewolf. Shelley is
she's a Viking kind of with the black mask. Desmond kind of looks like a princess, Gothic princess, and
they live in the house. They run like a school or whatever
in the mansion,
like a supernatural.
And that's a great moment where they're all there. They're doing it together, and they call his mother and the stepdad and I guess their kids or whatever over, and they all go running through, and they're kind of like, you can see it, like they're like impressed with him, and kind of proud for a moment.
He's a big man. He did it. So, but before the roll credits, we get cutaway to a shack. Somewhere on the property, it felt like. Somewhere on the property.
That's what I felt.
And we see Farah with her feet up, sitting looking angry. And just to her side here,
she's got,
in a glass jar, is a head. And it's Jeffrey Combs, Bartok the Great. Jeffrey Combs' head. Because earlier in the movie he said he wouldn't kill her if she betrayed him again. He would cut off her head and put it in a glass jar and keep it on the shelf.
Gives me Reanimator vibes.
Oh, total Reanimator vibes. It's total Reanimator vibes. So at the end of the movie, when everything's going on, she cuts his head off with a shovel. So now we see her sitting with her feet up, and she's got his head in the glass jar, and she says...
And he's like, when are we going to
get our revenge?
She's like, we will.
Soon. Soon, my servant. And she's like, he's now the tables are turned. And he's like, yes, master, yes.
They were brother and sister at some point, it said.
Who?
The two of them.
No.
At some point, she says something about, I don't know why Dad trusted you or something like that. She says something.
I thought she was just a demon that he bound, that he resurrected and bound.
I know,
thought
but
was her story.
All right, I remember hearing something that I was like,
he resurrected. That's why she'd been bound for 10,000 years or something. Or 10
I do know that, yes, but I thought she said something at some point.
She was just a witch or a psychic or something that he wound up,
Yeah, I'll have to see what I'm thinking of at some point.
To him.
Next time I watch it,
she was like a succubus too. He calls her a succubus at one point.
Yeah.
So because he raises her from hell. She's she's a demoness. So yeah.
I know. I thought they were both. I don't know. I gotta.
Well, she might have said father as in
maybe that's something was said.
Abaddon,
yes,
being the father of all of them. Like when like God is the father, Satan is the father.
Yes, I think that's
probably more where you were.
It's something was said along those lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, father doesn't want to. I don't know why father chose you.
Yeah, something exactly. Like that. Yeah.
She still looks up to Abaddon.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
So
and the movie ends with a very definitive sequel possibility.
Oh, I hope so.
I hope so, man.
I mean,
hopefully this gets a sequel. There's so much crap gets made into sequels out there. Please make a good movie into a sequel. I feel like he's going to. He'll do it. I'm going to follow, see if he has another Kickstarter. Absolutely.
I want to see this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really. Not that I have money to throw out, but we got our own crap we need to pay for, but I really do want to see.
But we support others.
I know. I want to see this
as well. So, all right, let's get through some quick trivia and then we'll...
you already said, like, the one thing.
There's other stuff on here, though. So, 7,493 backers on Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. Pledged $610,467.
To help
get it to life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
that was it.
One?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, it did do one day in the theater. What did it make back?
Like 187 or something like that.
So it was only in theaters for
182.
Yeah, one day. 182.21 U.S. and Canada.
Yeah.
So not bad for one day in the theater. I mean, people are liking it. Wild and crazy practical effects. Heavy horror comedy now on Screambox. Mm-hmm. Bloody disgusting. Screambox gets silly with 80s inspired horror comedy.
Perfect. That's exactly what it is.
Well, yeah, all right. Well, final thoughts, Steph Infection, before we wrap up?
Go see this movie.
Well, you can't go see it. It's not in the theater. You can rent it.
Go rent
buy
it.
it.
Go buy it. Go see it in your living room.
Because it helps the filmmaker go make another one.
Yes.
That's the hope. Because you can see he wants to make another one. So buying, renting, whatever, supporting this movie is going to help him make another movie. So get out there, give it some good reviews, and watch it. And
yeah. My final thoughts are just I was not expecting this movie to be as good, but it superseded like everything that I expected. So
I was really looking forward to it, but I did not think it was going to be this good. I mean, this was really high level film. This was a really great horror comedy. I really, really enjoyed this one. I mean, I grew up on stuff like Reanimator and some of the crazy 80s horror comedy stuff that inspired this, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I even said, the two puppets, although very bright colors, reminded me of like Beetlejuice when they're the
shrunken head puppets and stuff.
But even when they start to die and they're doing the seance, it kind of looks like that. Like
let's not forget the other shout out to the homage to Beetlejuice.
Oh, at the end! Oh my gosh, yeah!
At the very end in the house, there's a big entryway staircase, and the Meatloaf song starts playing, and Onyx and Mac are dancing, and Mac's a witch. She was levitating earlier, so
they start
levitates
dancing.
him, and they float up, and as everybody's kind of watching, just like in the scene in Beetlejuice. So, that was a very cool...
It was very obvious.
Oh, very obvious homage to Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
But and again, there's a lot of obvious homages to many movies in here. Head in the Jar of the Reanimator, the Beetlejuice homage. There's a ton of great stuff in here. This is a really, really great movie. Highest recommendations from Deadsville Horror Talk fiends.
Definitely.
Watch this one wherever you can. and support indie filmmaking.
Yes, please do.
All right. That's going to do it for us. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, comment. Leave some comments, folks.
Please do.
Send us an email. Let us know what you thought of this, or if you're following Stalked, or if you back Stalked. We'll give you a shout out here if you back Stalked on Indiegogo. Or if any of the members of the cast or crew want us to shout out anything here, make sure you shoot us an email as well. Always good to hear from fellow filmmakers.
Please do.
And actors and actresses. All right. That's going to do it, Steph Infection.
All right.
Wrapping it up.
Another fabulous episode with you.
Yeah. Never gets dull.
Never.
All right, fiends. Go watch this movie and stay spooky.
Bye, Scream Hearts.